Hi, this is Rachel from the blog thislovelylittle.farmhouse.com, and today I'm going to show y'all how to make Saltine Toffee Bars, aka Christmas crack. Now there's a reason they call it Christmas crack, because it really truly is addicting. I dare you to take just one bite and that's all, because you will be coming back for more. They're really good. And I know I say all my recipes that I share are really good, but that's because I share the ones that are really good. So if you haven't tried these, you really need to try them. Really. So what you need is 35 saltine crackers, a stick or a half a cup of butter. It's also 1/4 of a pound. I'm using salted butter today. You can also use unsalted. Pretty much I just have whatever's in my refrigerator and that's what I use. I don't think it'll make that big of a difference. If you're sensitive to salt, you might want to use unsalted if you don't want to get too much in them. But I'm using salted today. A half cup of light brown sugar. I think that light brown sugar works a lot better for this recipe because when you're boiling it and you're baking it, the dark brown sugar to me tends to get a little more burnt and you risk burning your bars that way. So I prefer light brown sugar. And then a half to a cup of chopped nuts for the garnish. I'm using pecans today. You could use walnuts. The possibility for variations for these bars is quite literally endless. You could top them with anything like coconut chips, crushed candy canes, crushed Oreos, chopped up peanut butter cups, Andes mints, so M&Ms. You really can use anything you can think of. Don't be afraid to experiment with them and top them with different things. I prefer the basic recipe, traditional recipe, but you can have fun with it and mix it up. Especially it would be fun with kids to put different things on top of them. You're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I have mine going. So the first thing we're gonna do is spread out our crackers on our pan. I covered my pan with parchment paper. You could also use foil. Foil is easier in the beginning, but parchment paper doesn't stick to your crackers when they're done, and foil kind of has the tendency to stick to them sometimes. So the parchment paper, the way I do is I'll like run my fingernail along the crease to crease the edges, and then also kind of fold it down like this, and it helps it stay in place a little bit better. Like I said, it is a lot more difficult in the beginning, but it's easier in the long run because, like I said, the aluminum foil will stick to your crackers a lot of times, and it's extremely difficult to get off. So I'm going to spread out my crackers here, 35 of them, and they fit almost perfectly in this pan that I have. If they don't worry about it. They don't have to fit just right, but you definitely want to make sure you're using a pan that has a lip on it. Do not use a flat pan or you will have a huge mess on your hands, because as you bake this, the crackers will spread out and they'll be falling off of your pan. And if you have some broken ones, that's not a big deal because you're gonna break them all up at the end anyway. So don't worry about if you have broken ones. The caramelly butter, sugar will kind of glue them all together. Next, we're gonna move it to the stove and do our butter and brown sugar caramel mixture. Okay, as quick as you can, you want to spread it over your crackers. And you want to spread it around quickly because it hardens up fast. And it doesn't have to be exact because when you put it in the oven, it is going to spread around more, but you do want to spread it around as good as you can. And now we're gonna stick them in the oven, preheated 400 degrees for about 6 minutes. 5 to 7, I stick in the middle and do 6. Okay, got them out the oven. You can see how bubbly they are. And I'm gonna let them sit for just a second to cool off. And then we're gonna put our chocolate chips on, let them melt, spread them around, and top them with our nuts. You want to put the nuts on while the chocolate is still melted so they'll stick and they won't all just fall right off. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chocolate chips on, and I just spread them around as evenly as I can. If you need to pop them back in the oven just a second to make sure they melt all the way, be very, very careful that you don't leave them in too long and burn the chocolate, because then it'll seize up and it won't spread and it doesn't even taste good. It's all grainy and not good. So be very, very careful that you just, if you have to pop them back in the oven, or if you melt your chocolate ahead of time in the microwave or something, be extremely careful not to overheat it or it will ruin the chocolate. And once they're melted all the way, we're gonna spread them around. So don't worry about making the chocolate look perfect, because you're gonna put nuts or your topping on it anyway. So just try to make it even. And this is a very, very important step. Next, you have to lick the spoon. You cannot let that amazing chocolatey goodness go to waste. Always lick the spoon. Okay, now we're gonna spread our nuts around while the chocolate is still melted. And I tend to go a little lighter on the nuts these days because it seems like most of them fall off. So I just don't put as many to begin with. I probably end up putting about 3/4 of a cup instead of a whole cup. And if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you can kind of press them down. It helps them stick to the chocolate a little bit better when it hardens. And that's it. You just let them cool. You can let them cool on the counter. You can put them in the refrigerator. They can be frozen, kept in the refrigerator, or kept on the counter. However you like to eat them best is how I would keep them. When they're completely cooled, you can either break them in pieces or cut them. A lot of people like to cut them because it's all neat. I prefer to break them because I like the irregular pieces. So however you like to do it, it doesn't matter. But you break them up and enjoy. Like I said, you can keep them in the refrigerator, on the counter, wherever. Just make sure they're in an airtight container so they don't get soft and kind of stale. Hope you like this recipe. Please give it a try and let me know what you think. As always, I really appreciate you who subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, give me thumbs up. I really appreciate that so much, and I'm really glad you're here. Also, be sure and check me out on Instagram at This Lovely Little Farmhouse. Hope to see you in the next video. Ugh. Don't cry, Miriam, because Mama's doing a video. What you're gonna need is, that's right. And today I'm gonna show y'all how to make salt. The possibilities are endless. You could do, okay, can you stop making that noise, please? Okay, am I forgetting anything? I don't think so.